Ready?
Sure.
You bet.
So 100 years have gone by since your ancestors created what would become a legend. That's why we're all here. What exactly was the spark? Like, what was that spark that one moment they said, we're going to do this?
Well, I think it was their creative drive and their ingenuity. They were tinkerers and had engineering backgrounds as well as tool makers, and I'm sure they saw this neat opportunity to take a two-wheeled vehicle and put a motor on it, and what they've created is just absolutely wonderful. Yes.
They actually, I believe you actually found the original, like the first bike, the serial #1. That's the one in Juneau, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was found actually a few years later. It wasn't like discovered someplace, right?
Well, what happened, the motorcycle was in our collection for a long time. However, we had not split the cases and taken it apart.
Yeah.
And when we did take it apart, we discovered that one of the original tool makers had actually embossed a #1 in several of the pieces inside the engine.
It's really exciting.
That was like discovering King Tut's tomb.
When did that discovery take place?
That's happened within the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, fairly recent.
But we've had the bike all along, and so that verified that it was truly an original. So it's priceless. That's why it's in that glass case.
Closed case.
Yeah.
Three Davidsons and a Harley. The Davidsons, well, we've got two of you here, continuing the line. The Harleys, what happened to them?
The family of Harleys, actually there is a Harley working at the company. She married into the Har family, so it's not a direct descendant, but still part of the family. And the family of Harleys, I believe the last Harley was John Harley, and he left the companies in the late 70s. And since then, it's just been our family, my father, myself, my sister Karen, and Mom, of course, is, even though she doesn't work for the company, in a roundabout way she does, because she's our support and our backbone.
I was going to talk about women's influence a little bit later, but since you brought up your mother, women have had a really important role also in creating the Harley legend. Do all the women, you said your mother does she drive the bike? I mean,
She used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a Sportster, and we just got off a cross-country ride, put 4,800 miles on, and she rode behind Dad. And my sister Karen rides. She was on an anniversary Road King Classic.
Yeah.
And so...
Like I said before, there were three Davidsons and a Harley. How did the name come about? I mean, it sounds like a silly thing, but it could have been Davidson Harley.
Well, I don't think that there was a lot of discussion at that point in time, because you have to remember, they just had a little wooden shack in a backyard. I mean, there was no marketing going on.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably said we should put some names on this thing, and somebody got out a paintbrush and that was the first time the two names were put together. And I don't think there was a logo committee or anything like that.
We're going to talk about that too, about marketing
But
and all that.
I think it just happened.
Now, you know, people relate, when they think of the Harley, you think of this, I mean, it's a beautiful machine. It's like the sculpture, like at the Milwaukee Art Museum, they named it perfectly rolling sculptures. But I know that the biggest passion for the Davidson family especially was dirt track racing. And that's like the complete opposite of what, you know, people think customs, keeping them clean, the perfect machine, and all of a sudden you have this other passion, which is almost like on the other end. Tell us a little bit about that. You know, and racing, motorcycle racing in Spain is also big time.
Dad and I are avid race enthusiasts. Dad used to race, I used to race. I think we can both say that our racers, especially of Harley Davidson products, are heroes.
Yeah.
Scotty Parker and Chris Carr, Rich Hank, Jennifer Schneider, they're truly our heroes. And what's so neat about a race motorcycle is its simplicity. You step back and you see nothing but engine, two wheels, and a chassis that marries those elements together. To us, they're just beautiful to look at. And Dad's got a a real neat collection of some very rare, beautiful race bikes.
I
Board
have,
track.
yeah, I have the milestone bikes from the major eras. They're going all the way back to the board tracks of the 20s, and it's a collection that I'm very proud of. And, I think if you analyze those vehicles, you can really see the essence of the name motorcycle, because they're simple, single-purpose, functional vehicles, and in that they have this form follows function beauty, and they're sculptural icons, I think, of motorcycles. The racing bikes always look the best to me.